welcome to the Let's Talk Digital Marketing podcast. And I'm very excited today to have as my special guest, Nathan Schlaffer. Is that the right pronunciation?
Schlaffer, yeah,
Schlaffer, sorry.
that's all good. Yeah, thanks for having me, Mike. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. And you are my first guest who deals with AI, which is a
Mm,
very important part of digital marketing, especially in 2024. So I'm
absolutely.
very excited to kind of get you on and talk about your product as well, which is very exciting too,
hmm
because we have a lot of business to business people who watch or listen to the podcast, and I'm sure they'll be very interested in what you have to say.
Fantastic. I'm so excited to talk about AI. It's one of those transformative technologies that's just changing the way we do B2B marketing. So,
Yeah, yeah. I have a confession to make before we start. That
okay. Ooh.
I did. What I did was I went to a previous podcast interview that was done with you,
hmm
and I copied and pasted the transcript and put it into ChatGPT
Nice.
and gave me a list of questions to ask.
Wow, clever. I like that approach. Okay.
Yeah, which is
Generating
quite
questions
immediate.
from a transcript.
But I'm going to only use that if I get stuck. I'll need to.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, just tell me a bit about yourself and how you came to be interested in AI and being an AI expert.
Yeah. So Mike, thanks for a great question, Mike. So I started in B2B marketing about a decade ago. And my passion has always been at the intersection of technology and marketing. But more recently, I was working at a software company with my colleague in product marketing, and we got so excited when ChatGPT came out, like millions of other marketers, we were experimenting with prompts and trying to use it for messaging and content. But some of the results didn't quite meet the mark in terms of it didn't resonate with our audience. We had to prompt several times to get the right output. And really, the quality of the output depended on the quality of your prompt. Is how much context did you give it about your audience, about what your product does and its value proposition. So we thought, hey, what if we could build a marketing assistant with AI that you can talk to in plain English, that you don't need to think of sophisticated prompts,
Mhm.
that could help you with messaging, that could help you with creating content, but in a way that's personalized for your buyer personas or your audience. So we went on this adventure. We built this platform, and we're happy to say it's the world's first platform that first understands your buyer persona, their pain points, their needs, what topics are interesting to them. And then it personalizes content at scale for you. So it can develop, press releases, landing pages, blogs, all of your ads for Google, Facebook, and other social channels. So I'm really happy, and it's been a journey of discovery and also continuous improvement. But I've gotten great feedback from B2B marketers that this is really something a level higher than the traditional ChatGPT or Google Bard or AI tools out there.
Yeah, because the prompts can be quite tricky to formulate, can't they?
Absolutely. Totally. Yeah, that's the difficult part. hmm
Because you have tools like AI RPM, which have specific prompts or prompts for particular purposes. Um, I guess you're even more specific than that and more specialized.
Right, right. So, I mean, typically when you see people prompts, what marketers have done is they've given it some context, like the example we gave earlier with the transcripts. Like you feed it some information and then you say, based on this, give me this output. And some prompts do better than others. Like, for example, one of the things we've learned is AI is better at saying what to do and not what not to do. So you say,
Yes.
don't do this, it doesn't give you that result as well. So a lot of marketers have resulted to what I call hoarding prompts, is they have hundreds of prompts or they follow people saying, hey, I've tried these prompts and these are the best ones. But what our philosophy is, and it's pretty different than most, is, hey, what if you just described your product in an input field? Like describe your product or service, describe the benefits of your product, describe the pain points you solve for. And the AI handled all of the prompting on the back end. So that's really what kind of differentiates us from other solutions out there. And we're trying to get it more and more simple. So one of the things we just launched is Market Made AI Voice, which is basically a marketing assistant you can talk to with your voice. You don't even have to prompt or type for that matter. So it's pretty exciting, making things more accessible for marketers who, at their core, they're great at marketing, but they're not hyper technical. And we don't think the way forward is to teach marketers to prompt engineer. It's to make the technology more accessible for them.
Can you use the AI to create the buying persona, or is that something? The persona, or do you have to? Is that still really something you would do organically?
Absolutely. So I would say there's the AI part of it, too, which can create the buyer persona, and there's the human context that is critical. And I think this is true for any AI generated content. Is you always have to have a human reviewing and giving it
Yes.
context. So what we do is we have this tool called Buyer Persona Generator. So you put in, hey, this is what my product does. This is the vertical market, because in B2B, you have different markets you go after. Here's the job title, because often decisions are made in a buying committee. You have someone who's the decision maker, influencer, and user. So you define the job title, put in the pain points, and then it spits out basically a buyer persona for you. The value of that is, now that you have that buyer persona that was generated by AI, but with your input, the AI model can learn that, and then it can tailor content for it later. And that's a critical piece, I think, that is essential for B2B, especially for content marketers is, hey, I want to make sure my content resonates with my buyer persona. A lot of tools out there like Jasper or Writer or others don't create buyer personas for you. So without context, there's no content resonance. It doesn't address the needs of your audience. So that's our philosophy. And then you can actually toggle between different buyer personas as you're writing content. Like, hey, I want to write content for the VP level. Now I'm going to focus on ROI. Or you can tell the AI, hey, I want to write, content for the end user. So I'm going to focus more on the technical features and capabilities of the product. So that's the beauty of MarketMate is it learns your business, learns your value proposition, and then tailors the content for you based on that.
So it extrapolates from the buyer persona, cold outreach campaigns, press releases, ad copy, all those things, email
Absolutely.
campaigns.
Yes. It extrapolates. And like you said, it can create a press release, and the speed at which it creates it is much faster than a human writer can, which is pretty impressive. I've had one company I worked with that was, we were testing the blog writing feature, and like, she was like, hey, we hire an agency to do that, but this is actually better than quality content than the agency.
Wow.
So it's pretty impressive. Mhm.
Is there an issue with if you use copy on a website or on different platforms, it can get penalized if it can tell if it's AI generated?
That's a
Is there?
fantastic question. Yeah, I get that a lot is like, hey, one is you get penalized if it's AI generated, but then also plagiarism is another concern because as we saw with OpenAI and New York Times, there's this big
Yes.
lawsuit on that. So one of the things that we do is we've given AI the capability to cite its sources. So if you say, hey, I like these 3 articles, I want to use them as source material for my blog, you can drop them in and then have the AI cite them so that you lower the risk of plagiarism. But also, we've built in the capability to refine your content. So even though the initial draft is AI generated, as most people know, like you and myself who've written content, it goes through many revisions between the client, between the between the business, with their marketing team, with the subject matter expert, maybe their product manager. So so our software allows you to refine it. So at the end of the day, it may be AI generated, but it's human made. It's human refined. So you can't
Yes.
say this is completely AI generated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you get any pushback from agencies and copywriters who feel like you're putting them out of a job?
Yeah. That's a good question. Or what I see is AI is not necessarily going to replace copywriters or people, but people who know how to use these AI platforms will. Because what I see is copywriters, every copywriter I know is using ChatGPT or using some AI tool to help boost their productivity. There was a study by McKinsey that came out in May last year that said for people using generative AI for for creative, content development. They're able to accelerate their creative cycle by 50%. So I see it as more of an aid that the role of marketing is going to change in B2B marketing from just doing the manual day-to-day copywriting to let me orchestrate AI for that. And I'm going to focus on strategic things like what topics should I focus on in my content calendar? What's the ROI? Some of these
Yes.
AI tools that I'm
Yes.
deploying. So that's what I'm excited about is it's changed the way people are doing marketing from day to day and doing copywriting. I don't think it'll replace them, but those copywriters who learn how to use AI will be at a distinct advantage versus those who don't.
Yeah. I remember in a previous interview, you said that the marketers who use AI will survive.
Yes.
The marketers who ignore it or don't like it will not survive, basically.
Yeah, I agree with that statement, and I would say the world of opportunities is opening for marketers in previous ways that it wasn't. Like myself, I was a marketer as well, but AI gave me this opportunity to help other businesses adopt it. So that's one of the things I'm excited about is the potential for creating new jobs as well, not
Mm.
just not just replacing them. Yeah.
And I guess it's helping small businesses who maybe have a limited budget, you know, to do what your product can do would cost a lot more if you had to hire people to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's a good point. Is I feel small businesses wear a lot of hats. So we have two different products. One for small businesses, which is Market Made AI Voice, and then one more for teams, which is Market Made AI Pro. For the small business owner, a lot of the challenges. Hey, I want leads. I
Yeah.
don't have time to be writing content. I'm really good at my product or service or business development, but I don't want to hire a copywriter for thousands of dollars or an agency. So in that case, we've built Market Made AI Voice, which is the world's first marketing assistant you can talk to with your voice. So, hey, create a landing page for me.
Well,
Create an ad for Facebook, for Instagram, for LinkedIn, and then it will do your copywriting for you. The difference is there's no prompting required. So we try to make it as easy as possible for business owners. And there's a free trial so people can test drive it and see if it meets their expectations. And then there's the Market Made AI Pro, which is more of a productivity platform for teams.
yeah.
So the way people use typically that is if you're a B2B marketing manager or B2B marketing team at a software company or manufacturer, usually you go through the steps of let me create a buyer personas, let me segment my market, let me create messaging, product positioning statement, value proposition for each of my products. Now let me create content for a marketing campaign, whether that's ads, whether that's a press release, whether that's a collateral for the sales team, and then sales enablement. So if you have a sales team, now you've got to train them on, hey, what's the value proposition? Help them with good qualifying questions to ask to uncover needs.
Mm.
You go through that sales training process. So what we've built is essentially a framework that we call the buyer-centric AI framework. So you start with training an AI, we call it LEAD for short. We teach an AI model to learn your buyer personas. Then we use AI to enhance your messaging so it automates the creation of your value proposition and product positioning with a few inputs like describe your product, describe the benefits, the pain points. And then afterwards, it automates, so that's the A in LEAD, automates the content development at scale. So you can develop like a campaign's worth of content, like a press release, all your ads in 20 minutes. It's really, really fast. And then drive sales enablement with guardrails. One of the fears in B2B is, hey, I have a new sales rep. They don't understand our product. They don't understand our buyer persona. What if they send some mixed messages, like in the market, or send an email that doesn't resonate? So what we do is we have the AI model remember your audience and value proposition so it can create those cold emails like you mentioned or those prospect outbound emails. So it's really a holistic platform for the B2B marketing and sales team.
Yeah.
So those are kind of the two solutions we've developed for marketers and small business owners.
Yeah. So it's learning all the time.
Yep, exactly. It's learning from you and tailoring content for your business, which is the unique part of it.
Yeah. Great thing about AI. Does your product use ChatGPT, the API from ChatGPT or another platform?
It does. It uses several APIs. So ChatGPT is one. Another is Anthropic, which is a competitor to ChatGPT. We also use their AI model. And Google, we use some of their APIs as well. So we try to combine the best in breed AI technologies in one platform so you don't have to toggle between each one, depending on the project you're working on. Because each one has its strengths and weaknesses. Like Google Bard is great at creative writing, but the inputs tend to be shorter. ChatGPT is great at writing and prompting as well, but Cloud, what differentiates them is they tend to focus on more harmless content or be more protected against things like copyright and stuff like that. The risk of hallucination is lower if you use something like Cloud. So each AI kind of model has its weaknesses and strengths. So it's good to leverage it based on the use case. But we handle that for people, so they don't have to think about it. They can just do their marketing projects without choose,
Yeah.
using an AI model. Yeah.
And does the AI get feedback from, say, a CRM? And can it, for example, see who's responding to the marketing campaigns? Same way with when you run an ad campaign, you get conversion data back,
Yeah. Great
which
question.
optimizes the campaign, helps the algorithm optimize the campaign. Is there a similar thing here going on?
Yeah. Good question. We don't integrate with your CRM yet. Something we've been
Not yet.
thinking
Anyway,
about, but currently, no, we don't do that integration. The way someone would typically use us is like, hey, we're going to map out our buyer personas, our messaging, and then we're going to craft the content. And then we could plug in those emails into our CRM like HubSpot or Salesforce. But there's no integration currently with CRM. Yeah.
yeah, that could be something that could happen in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely something that gets asked by a lot of our customers is, hey, we use HubSpot a lot, maybe, or Salesforce, maybe there could be an integration. So yeah,
Would,
that's
would
definitely
you?
something I want to remember.
I'm gonna guess also ChatGPT. They now have apps with GPT-4. I mean, if they introduce paid apps, would you be part of that? Would you, if they said we got the Marketing Mate AI app, you can buy it
Yeah.
from our store? Would that be something could happen?
Yeah, that's something we're exploring right now with the GPT store that OpenAI just launched. Is should we have our own
Yeah.
tailored GPT for market made AI? So it's definitely something we're actively considering right now. But yeah, that's definitely something that we're discussing.
But where do you see AI going from here, from 2024 onwards? What is the next steps?
Yeah, I love
Has
that
it
question.
peaked, or is there still more to go?
Yeah, I think we're just at the beginning of the wave. I think there are three exciting developments that are really going to transform B2B marketing and marketing overall, even for B2C brands. One is the idea of multi-agent AI models. And OpenAI recently published a release on this where you can have different GPT models collaborating with one another to deliver outcomes. And each GPT can have a specialization, or you can have an AI specialist in SEO, or an AI specialist in copywriting, or an AI specialist in Google Ads. And then what will happen is you'll have almost like this team of AI collaborators that could produce incredible output. Maybe one project manager to manage all the other AI and make sure content is delivered on time. So multi-agent AI, I think, is going to be a huge game changer. And there are actually some companies right now that are using it in persona marketing that take an AI model, train it to act like a persona, and then be almost like your copy editor. Like, how would my customer perceive how I'm writing? Which every marketer does in their mind as they're writing content is they're imagining, how would my audience react to this? And what if you could
Yeah.
have an AI assistant that's emulating that feedback? So that's one big thing that's going to be transformative. I think the second thing is multimodal AI. And what I mean by that is, in the past, the only way of communicating with a software application has been, let me type in limited voice with Siri and Alexa and those type of apps. But with things like Google Gemini, which are AI systems that can literally look at an image, recognize what it is, and give you feedback, I think
Yeah.
we're going to have
Yeah.
more AI applications that can have vision and see and interpret their surroundings and have senses, which would change the way we interact with AI, because then we could talk to AI, like with market made AI voice. We're actually leveraging that technology of speech to text and text to speech to be able to have that conversation. But I think that's the future, really. And then the third thing I think that's really going to change, and you touched on this with the CRM, is AI's access to data, and that's been one of the biggest limitations with AI's hallucination or concern about, like you said, like what if it's just making stuff up or not having proper? What if it's just AI generated and everyone detects it? So I think data and context and customer information and is going to be key for making AI more effective and resonate with people better. Because at the end of the day, even though it's an AI model, garbage in, garbage out. If you don't have the right inputs and context, it's not going to produce compelling content.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Can you give me some examples of people and or businesses that have used your product and how it's made a difference to their businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a company called they're called Player Zero, and they do product intelligence software for product management teams to monitor releases for software and get voice of customer. And we recorded a session on YouTube where in a 40-minute session, we were able to generate press release ads for their campaign, a campaign's worth of content for their product launch in a 40-minute session. And it's been pretty a game changer for a lot of product marketers I worked with. I worked with another product marketer at a software as a service company that was $1 billion plus in annual revenue.
Oh,
And
wow. Okay.
he was able to automate 2 weeks worth of content in one 30-minute session with me. So the results are there. We have, 5 stars on G2 and great customer feedback. And I just invite, if anyone in your audience is interested, we'd love to have a conversation as well. Our website is marketmateai.com. We always love talking to companies about how we can help them scale, especially post COVID. Companies are cutting back. They're,
Yeah.
lowering their budget.
Yeah.
So how can you do more with less? And that's our vision, is to help companies do that with AI.
Yeah. Well, I'll put your link at the bottom in the description when we're published, and
Awesome.
people can find out more about it. Do you have an affiliate program, by the way?
We're actually open to affiliate marketing as well. We do kind of revenue share with agencies that want to help us co-promote our product and get in the hands of as many people as possible. So it's
Yeah,
definitely
that
something
was just
we're open to. Yes.
yeah, that was just a question that came to mind. And also, do, do you oh, what the question was now? Um, uh, what was the question? Oh, I'll come to another one. I'll come to another one.
No
Um,
worries. We'll come back.
that's right. I'll come back. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was. I think it was a particular question about language. Um,
Mm.
why find? I think my main bugbear with ChatGPT is it always assumes that I'm in America or uses American English and not English.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you can add it to the prompt that I'm in the UK and I'm I'm targeting people who live in the United Kingdom. But
Right.
I guess your product would be suited for any language, any country.
It
It's
can.
a,
Yeah, we do translation between 132 different languages because of our
wow.
integration with Google's API. So Spanish, French, German, Italian. For UK English, I have one prospective customer test driving Market Mate, and they had similar feedback: "Is hey, this sounds too American. It needs to be more
Yes.
down to earth. It needs to be less less cheesy." That was some of the
Yeah.
feedback I got.
Yeah.
So one of the things that they've been able to do is we have this field called criteria. They say, "Hey, write in UK English," and then
Oh,
it's able to make it UK English instead of American.
perfect.
Yeah.
That's what's been missing.
Yep.
About
I can see
ChatGPT.
that.
And what are your plans for the future for the business? I mean,
Oh,
you mentioned it a few things, but is it because I guess it's still pretty new, isn't it? Still, at the very beginning of your product and your company.
Yeah, we're brand
Nice.
new, just a year old. But the future, what I'm excited about, is integrating those newer technologies into our products. So design is a big thing right now that people are using, like Ship Journey or or another one is Dolly to create. But it doesn't quite hit the mark in terms of the design for advertisers. Text is
No,
always messed up or fuddled. It's
stick
never the
figures.
quality. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not, and there have been tools like Microsoft Designer that came out that are trying to overcome that, but one of the downsides of that is when you're doing design, you have your brand guidelines, right? You have your fonts, you have your colors. We want to create an intuitive design element of Market Made so that after you've produced all this amazing content, now you say, "Hey, AI, now I want you to help me design it." So that's part of the future. Another area that we're looking into is reporting and analytics. So with that comes integration with tools like Zoom Info, so you can bring in ABM campaigns and target account lists, so you can tailor the content for those personas and these other third-party platforms, or for HubSpot or Salesforce. So reporting and analytics, and then integrations, like you had mentioned, is key. Is like, how do we bring Market Made into other like CRM systems that people are using, or things like, hey, I'm using SEMrush. How do I bring that keyword information into Market Made? So now it's not just writing content, but it's saying, hey, these are some high traffic keywords. I suggest you include them in your blog. So those are some of the directions we're looking at. Yeah.
Would you be developing an app, a mobile phone app?
I'm thinking about that. Most of our users today are desktop, but if, especially with the voice, I can see people using a mobile app.
Yeah.
I think the key is like being able to send that output to their productivity application in an easy way. So that's a great idea. I think I can look into that.
Yeah. Look for the younger business people.
Yeah, they're always on their phones. There you go.
So a crunching gear change. I'll just ask you some more informal questions,
Okay.
as we discussed earlier. Um, First question is like when Nathan is, doing, when you're working or after work, what sort of music do you listen to? What is your favorite tunes?
Across the board. So I have a pretty eclectic mix depending on my mood and what I.
Or not the
So
band across the boards. It's
yeah,
not.
so like when I'm cooking dinner, I listen to like Spanish guitar to get me in the mood to like. And then when I'm working out, it's more electronic, or when I'm doing something fun, maybe rock, like some tunes when I'm on the road. So
Yeah.
it kind of, I context switch, and that's when I listen to different music.
Do you find music helps when you're working, or is it a distraction?
So it depends on the music. Classical helps me when I work. Like, I
That's
might
like,
pop in some Chopin or some.
no, that's my previous guest said the same thing.
Oh,
Chopin,
interesting.
even the same composer. Chopin.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's interesting. Maybe there's a like. No, just kidding. But yeah, yeah. It's what classical helps me. I can't listen to like rock or electronic when I'm working because it interrupts my thought. I want to go out and do something like that context switch.
And when you go out to eat or order something in to eat, what sort of food is your favorite type of food?
I love Thai food since I was a kid. It's my favorite.
I've never tried it. I've never tried it.
Ooh. Oh,
We
there's
have a
some good.
Thai takeaway nearby as well.
Oh yeah, maybe you can try it one day. Are you more of a spice person or not a spice?
Yeah, no, I do like spice. I like Chinese
Ooh.
food.
Nice. I
Really.
think you like curry then. They have some good
Yeah,
curry at Thai place.
I'll on your recommendation, I will try it.
That sounds great. Awesome.
And movies, using an American term, in the movies, what sort of movies do you like? If you do watch movies, that is.
I love movies that let me think. Like Christopher Nolan movies. Like Oppenheimer was just a masterpiece. I love that movie.
Yeah. So you're not Barbie, you're more Oppenheimer. Yeah?
Yeah, no, I'm not a Barbie fan. I can't say that in front of my wife, but I'm not a Thankfully, she didn't make me wear pink when I went and watched that. It's like I saw some couples going in.
Have you found any films inspired you in terms of AI or technology? Any films which made you kind of go futuristic films, maybe science fiction?
Yeah, there's, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's a very famous movie where there's, like, this little boy that was, like, an AI generate he was like an AI, but he wanted to be a real boy. It's almost like a play on Peter Pan, and he goes on this adventure. You know what I'm Yeah. The
Rings a
name of
bell. Huh?
the Yeah. That was a really good one, because it brings into question, like, what really makes us human, and I think that's a big question as AI becomes more and more intelligent. It's like, "Hey, we have these emotions, and AI doesn't necessarily have these emotions." So, one of the legitimate concerns is, like, how do we contain the AI and not give it too much power because that's kind of scary, but also leverage its benefits to help us, like, with marketing, or other things like medicine. So I think that's a good thought-provoking movie that talks about the benefits and also the risks of technology.
Yeah.
So I love those
Is
kind of
that an old film? Is it, or is it a more recent film? Do you
Oh,
know?
it's old. It's like, over a decade for sure.
Okay. And what kind of books do you read? Do you read non-fiction, fiction? And if it's non-fiction, is it marketing books,
I
self-help
do.
books?
Yeah, I read nonfiction mainly because I like to learn from people that are in the field of AI. Like there's this one book on my shelf, by let me grab it real quick, actually. It's called, The Coming Wave
Oh
by
yeah, yeah.
Mustafa Suleiman, and, it's actually written by someone from the UK who founded, DeepMind.
Oh
That
wow. Okay.
that was acquired by Google, and he talks about, um disruptive technologies and how quickly they've spread through society, and also with AI, how that's going to transform different parts of society. So I like, books by technologists too on coming technologies and how they're going to impact society. I also like, nonfiction. I do like some self-help books, but after a while, they start to repeat a lot of the same
Yeah.
principles. So I, after a while, I just kind of lean more towards the technology in the autobiographies. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Great. Yeah. We're coming towards the close of the interview. Um, you've been a really fantastic guest with lots of great insights and tips as well to do with AI and marketing. So if someone wants to use your product or wants to contact you, what is the best way of doing it? Is it
Yep.
just via the website, or is it going to LinkedIn and doing it there?
Yeah. So listeners can either way visit our website, www.marketmadeai.com. And we would be happy to either do a demo, or you can try it for free for Market Made AI Voice. Or you can follow us on LinkedIn. We have a LinkedIn page if you look up Market Made AI, where we're always posting new content and news about AI. And would love to have a conversation if you're a marketer and you've been using ChatGPT, but kind of frustrated, like, I'm not getting the results I have, or this English is it's American English, it's not UK English. Give us a call and let us
Good.
know, and we'd be happy to help you. Mhm.
Great, great. Well, thank you, Nathan. I appreciate your time, and it'd be great to have you back on the the show actually in the future, because I think I'm interviewing you at the start of your career, and I think probably in a few years' time I might find it hard to be able to interview you because it'll be like CNN and all the big guys interviewing you. I suspect.
Aw, thanks, Mike. I really loved our conversation, and I would enjoy I'd really enjoy coming back and continuing the conversation.
Yeah, yeah, brilliant, brilliant. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.